About 1,000 high school students split into 3 groups learning maths. One group had no AI, one had ordinary ChatGPT, one had a version built to give hints instead of answers. Then the researchers took the AI away and ran an exam. The ordinary ChatGPT group scored 17% worse than the students who never had an AI at all. So here's the tool, and it costs you 60 seconds. Before you ask the AI anything you're trying to actually learn, write down what you already think the answer is. In fragments, then ask. That's it. That single habit is the difference between the 2 outcomes in that study. And I'll show you why. The trial is in PNAS, it's peer-reviewed, it's pre-registered, and it's the cleanest thing anyone has published on this. 2 details from it that I haven't stopped thinking about. About a third of everything the plain ChatGPT students typed was, in substance, just what's the answer? And roughly half of what it told them was wrong. They weren't learning maths, they were learning to ask, and getting it wrong half the time, and feeling completely fine about it because during practice that group looked like they were doing brilliantly. 48% better than the control, right up until the exam. There's a name for that gap, and it was named 20 years before ChatGPT existed. Coriat and Bjork called it foresight bias. When you're studying, the answer is in front of you. You cannot simulate not knowing it. Your brain reads the smoothness of the thing on the page as evidence that you have it, and that feeling is almost completely uncorrelated with whether you'll have it or not. AI didn't create the problem, it industrialized it. Every answer arrives fluent, confident, well formatted, and instantly. It is the most fluent thing that has ever been put in front of a learner, and which makes it the most convincing false signal of understanding ever built. Hence the 60 seconds. When you write down what you think first, you find out what you actually know before the fluent thing arrives and overwrites it. Second tool, change what you're asking it to do. The researchers didn't build anything exotic. 3 rules, and you can put all 3 into a prompt today. Give hints, never the full solution. Tell it that, don't give me the answer, give me the next step and stop. Second, they fed it the correct solutions in advance, so it couldn't invent things. You can't do exactly that, but you can do the useful half. When it matters, ask it what's it's uncertain about and where it might be wrong. It's noticeably better at flagging its own shaky ground than you'd expect, and it never volunteers. Third, and this is the one that surprised me, they gave it a list of the mistakes students usually make on that topic and told it what to do when it saw one. Your version, ask it what the common mistakes are on this before you start. You get a map of the potholes from someone who's read everything. The pattern underneath all 3 is the same. Stop asking it to produce the work, start asking it to interrogate you. Ask it to quiz you, ask it what you've missed, ask it to argue against your position and make you defend it. Same tool, turned around. And I want to be careful here because this gets reported generously. The guarded version in that study did not beat the control group. It came level with them. What the guardrails bought was not an advantage, it was the removal of a penalty. Which sounds like a letdown until you notice what it means. The AI isn't going to do the learning. The best it can do is get out of the way of it. So what does the learning? Quick one. If this is landing, that's the whole idea here. One life skill properly broken down every week. Subscribe and the next one will find you. Third tool, and it's the strongest finding in this entire field. Close the thing and make yourself produce it from memory. Retrieval practice, not rereading, not highlighting, shutting it and dragging it back out of your own head. Rowland's meta-analysis, his psychological bulletin, pulled 159 effect sizes and found an effect size of 0.5, with 81% of comparisons favouring retrieval. Lab studies mostly. And then in 2021, another team did it again in real classrooms. 222 studies, 48,000 students, effect size 0.499. 2 entirely different literatures, one in laboratories and one in schools, landing on the same number to 2 decimal places. I've been doing this a while and I don't think I've seen a cleaner result. There's a wrinkle you should know, because I'd rather you heard it from me. It works best on what you actually practiced and on things close to it. It's much weaker at carrying you to material you never retrieved. And in mathematics specifically, a meta-analysis last year found the evidence isn't there yet at all. It's a memory effect. It's not a magic understanding effect, which practically means quiz yourself on the thing you need, not on the thing next to it. Fourth tool, spread it out. Same total hours, split across days instead of stacked into one evening. Cepeda and colleagues pulled 317 experiments, nearly 15,000 people. Spaced practice, 47% correct. Massed practice, 37. 10 points for reorganizing a calendar. You're not working more, and let me kill you something for you, because I believe it for years and I built a Notion template around it. You've been told the intervals have to expand. 1 day, 3 days, 7 days, 3 weeks. Every flashcard app is built on it. A meta-analysis in 2021 compared expanding schedules against just spacing evenly. The difference was 0.034. Statistically nothing. Spacing works. The clever schedule doesn't add anything. Every hour you've spent turning your review intervals was an hour you could have spent reviewing. Now, the part where I take a couple of things off you. A lot of what you get sold alongside these two is much shakier. Interleaving, mixing up problem types instead of doing them in blocks. It's on every study hacks list. The largest meta-analysis, 238 effect sizes, found it works well for telling visually similar things apart. Paintings, photographs, categories you're learning to discriminate. And the authors explicitly write that they're reluctant to recommend it for maths, text, grammar, or foreign languages. For learning words, it was actively worse than blocking. So, if you've been mixing your vocabulary decks because someone told you difficulty is good, stop. Which brings me to that idea generally. You've heard that making learning harder makes it better. Desirable difficulties. Robert Bjork coined it, and it's a useful label, but Bjork himself wrote that many difficulties are undesirable during instruction and forever after. Difficulty isn't the mechanism. Some specific difficulties happen to help people who already have the groundwork. That's a much smaller claim, and it's the true one. And rereading? You'll have heard it doesn't work. That's not quite right either. The famous review rated it low utility, which means inconsistent and inefficient, not useless. It's a poor use of the hour. It isn't nothing. I'm labouring this because the field of study advice has exactly the same disease as the field of productivity advice. The true findings are boring and get compressed into slogans, and the slogans are what reach you. Speaking of which, if you've read that a meta-analysis proved ChatGPT dramatically improves learning, that paper was retracted in April. It had been cited 266 times. The editor said the discrepancies undermined their confidence in the conclusions, and the authors didn't reply. So there is no strong evidence that AI makes you learn better. There's good evidence it can make you learn worse, and good evidence that with the right constraints it can be harmless and fast. Fast matters, harmless matters. Just don't hand it to the part that was always going to be yours, which is really the whole thing, and it's 4 moves. Write down what you think before you ask. Make it question you instead of answer you. Close it and pull the material back out of your head, and spread that across days rather than hours. None of that is new. 3 of the 4 predate the computer. What's new is that thing sitting between you and your own effort has got extremely good at feeling like understanding. And the 60 seconds is the whole defense. Not the app, not the schedule, not the system. 60 seconds of your own bad handwriting before the fluent thing arrives. Do it on the next thing you look up. Today, not in some future organized version of your life. You'll know within a week whether I'm right because you'll catch yourself already knowing more than you expected on about half of them. On this channel, I break down one life skill every week so you can build a better life. One conversation, one habit, one system at a time. That's what this channel is all about. Life, knowledge, productivity. Thank you for watching.